Hello everyone. Today I have a guest from Uganda, and let me introduce my guest to you. Kayinga Muddu Yisito is the director and board member of Community Transformation Foundation Network, Cotfone, a community network based in Greater Masaka, focused on access to basic social services, youth unemployment, oil and gas management, human rights protection, child protection, and land and property ownership. The development of the East Africa crude oil pipeline is currently one of their focal issues, given that many households in Greater Masaka are affected by this project. Kayinga has been instrumental in raising voices of local communities. Last year, he has been particularly active on advocating on behalf of people affected by East Africa crude oil pipeline, and he's an active and outspoken member of the local Stop East Africa Crude Oil Pipeline Coalition to ensure sustenance to the right to clean air and pure water for all affected community. Kayinga and his team successfully raised awareness about the health and environmental risks, and he is very active. And yes, thanks a lot for this opportunity, Kayinga, for this time. If you want, you can further produce yourself and your organization and what you do. What are the aims and goals of your organization? Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Baraka, for such a powerful introduction. Hello, viewers. I'm delighted to speak to you and shed more light on who I am and the network I'm leading in Uganda. As briefly introduced, Kayinga Muddu Yisito. I'm a social and human rights defender based in Uganda, but working on cross-country interventions that requires protection of human rights of the indigenous Ugandans. Just take you through what Cotfone means. Cotfone is an abbreviation for Community Transformation Foundation Network. Cotfone is a member-based network whose core business is addressing the obstacles that prevent marginalized and vulnerable individuals from leading healthy and self-reliant lives through, first, ensuring equal access to quality basic social services, and two, defending and protecting the God-given human rights. These are rights attained at birth, and everyone must enjoy them. Our mission as Cotfone is to empower community actors, both state and non-state, to address the needs of the vulnerable and marginalized groups in the Greater Masaka sub-region in southwestern Uganda. Our vision is working towards healthy and self-reliant communities in the Greater Masaka sub-region. Briefly on our story, Cotfone has been of impacting and transforming lives and the families of rural and marginalized grassroots communities in Uganda since 2005. Cotfone was initially registered in Masaka district as a community-based organization in 2006, and later renewed its registration with the Rengo district after being carved out of Masaka as a community-based organization in the year 2011. We are proud ourselves to have supported over 500 communities. We dearly support and transform communities. These are our impact areas as a network, because we're a network of 84 grassroots organizations. Cotfone puts a focus on household income through creating jobs for the household members of the network, with a focus on youth, families, and women-led households in our pursuit to gender equality. In terms of quality and appropriate education as our target area or focus area, Cotfone work towards addressing the hindrances to quality education and the retention of vulnerable and malbarred children and youth in school up to the completion level. That is primary, pre-primary, secondary, up to university. Our second focus area or impact area is community-based health. Under community-based health, Cotfone complements the health system strengthening and health service delivery with a focus on grassroots communities. Our focus is on primary health care, focusing on water, sanitation, and hygiene. In addition, environmental conservation. As Cotfone, we are a climate smart network and a focus of smart solutions in energy, agriculture, and housing.
Mm-hmm.
Our other area is capacity. Cotfone is a network organization that functions as a vibrant and impactful network. Our network is open to community actors, both state and non-state, and vulnerable individuals in the communities of Greater Masaka in Uganda. In regards to human rights protection as our we take a center stage in property and land rights education and advocacy. We fight domestic violence, including sexual gender-based violence, and we promote social justice. And these are very critical for household empowerment and transformation. So we are focused on impacting all lives. Cotfone partner, you can partner with us to impact our lives in our society through ensuring equal access to quality basic services, defending and protecting God-given human rights, being that these are rights attained at birth and everyone must enjoy them. And we are there to create impact that will transform lives, families, and the communities in Uganda and the world at large. I'm very happy that at least briefly, I have been able to briefly share what Cotfone is in brief, so that the viewers can really understand the background where I'm being interviewed from. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much,
Thank
Bulekma, for accepting that short introduction to what I'm doing in Uganda.
Thank you very much. Actually, you gave really important insights about Cotfone, Community Transformation Foundation Network based in Uganda. Also, just for like 2 or 3 minutes, could you tell me about the East Africa Crude Oil pipeline project? Because I know that it's one of the focal issues. Many households in Greater Masaka are affected by this project. What is it? In like 2 or 3 seconds, yes. Sorry, minutes, maybe.
Okay. Thank you so much, Black, for that. East Africa EACOP is an acronym for East African Crude Oil Pipeline. This is a 1,445 kilometer length that is going to be heated, and it will be the world's longest heated oil pipeline in the world that is going to be traversing from the western part of the country, Midwestern, that is in the Bunyoro region, traversing through Greater Masaka. It is going to cover 10 districts, and this 20 is operating in half of them, the 5 of them, where it's going to impact over close to 2,000 project-affected persons or people, including among them some to be displaced with houses because the pipeline is going to go through their area. Since 2018, Cotfone has been at the forefront of advocating for protection of the rights of the project-affiliated persons and the communities, given the immense and intensive and extensive negative impacts to be brought about by this intervention, by this development, which includes resettlement of people, which includes displacement of water sources, which have been there for decades, natural vegetation. As you know, people rely on agriculture. Their farmlands will be taken to give way to this pipeline, which is 30 meter width. And now you can see how much and how big. There have been a lot of issues surrounding this with the communities, such as low compensation, as claimed by many project-affiliated persons, where they find their land, which is going to be taken, but the replacement value does not tally with the current economic means or the market price at this present time. There has been a lot of issues since 2018 where project-affiliated persons, because in the entire country, they are very, very many. They're close to 4,000 project-affiliated persons to be replaced by this project. But as I've told you, they are just a few. They are just like over half of them from our region where I'm working. People were stopped to put development on their land, given that this was the source of their livelihood, and up to over 3 years without compensation, where we had to amplify their voices because this kind of delay to compensate the people violates their right to property, violates their right to do meaningful engagements on their land, as well as other challenges that comes alongside this. Because when you delay to provide resources or to compensate to these people, it does not only violate the national laws in Uganda, but also violates the national standards, like they will have what we call free, prior, and informed consent, which are guidelines from United Nations, so on business and human rights. So all those were found to have been challenged, to have been not respected, which was really not good. And as concerned citizens, we have to demand accountability from our leaders, from the corporation, that is Total Energies, and the partners to ensure that they don't take this for granted. So our campaign, there have been a lot of empty promises, because with our campaign, the company accepted to compensate, to give an additional 15% annual uplift of every year delayed without compensation. And unfortunately, it is very disturbing that when they came to making people sign for contracts for compensation, they only considered 2 years, that is at 30% instead of 45%, which shows the impunity within the developers of the East African Crude Oil Pipeline in Uganda. So we are not ready to really just look at this. And as I've told you, Cotfone has observed some injustices to PAPs being compensated along with the pipeline route. And as the project had to prioritize only those that are within camps and other places, leaving others without not being considered for prompt compensation, which we think that's a total violation of their rights. And Other things, like I've told you, this pipeline going through wetlands, and we have laws in the country, like in the recent amended national environment laws, but they are not respected. You cannot be chasing away poor people from wetlands, but when you are giving away wetlands to such extractive development, just because you think it is just putting profits on expense of people's livelihood. I just want to share some statistics from based on the people that I've been standing up through Cotfone for their rights. As I told you, we have 1,893 project-affected persons in Greater Masaka sub-region, and these are people spread in 4 districts. In Zimbabwe, there are 433 project-affected persons. In Rwengo, there are 565 people or families. In Rakai, there are 524. And the Chotera district, there are 371. As I told you earlier, the length of the pipeline in the Greater Masaka sub-region where I'm working is nearly 131 kilometers, of which Zimbabwe, just one district, is having 52.6 kilometers. There's the length of the pipeline. And in Rwengo, the pipeline will go through 26.2 kilometers. In Rakai, 19.9 kilometers. And the Chotera, 32.3 kilometers. The pipeline section in Greater Masaka will traverse 4 districts, including 20 sub-counties, 2 town councils, and 88 villages. So you can see that if you just look at that number of 1,893 project-affected persons, every person has a family at an average of 5 people. That is over 10,000 people just in 4 districts out of the 10 districts that the project is traversing in the region. And if you were to consider that, if you were having over 3,000 project-affected persons in the whole country, and then you take that to the number of about 5 people per family, you are seeing this takes us to between 1,500, 15,000 to 20,000 directly affected people in their household. So this is really a magnitude, a big magnitude, and the first of the kind is going to displace graveyards that have been there for decades. The rights of the dead people, they are going to be violated. So really, this is how I can re-explain about this pipeline that is coming through our region. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kayinga. You explained it very well. I think, yes, you gave great information about and you also provided data. And I can say that you really perform, and Cotfone, along with your foundation network, you perform a great job for your region, for the Greater Masaka region. The director and board member of Community Transformation Foundation Network from Uganda, Kayinga Muddu Yisito, was my guest today. He talked about how he worked with his team for youth empowerment, for gender equality, for equal access to hygienic water, and for youth unemployment, and lots of important and critical issues for the population. Thank you so much for your great efforts in in activism. You work for your society, but also I think you contribute to the global stability in one aspect, because sometimes the marginalized areas, the people living in such places, can drift to extremism or violence. But if you work for this for such issues, you also contribute to peace and stability. Yes, please. I think you have your final words, and I want to thank you again.
Yeah, thank you so much. I can have to tell you that this work has not been easy, of revisiting the corporations and their state agents in violating rights of the people. We have endured a lot of intimidation. In February this year, 2022, my home and my office were broken in, and I lost computers, I lost tablets, and the phones were stolen, which was we're gathering statistics and other evidence that had to be used for litigation to help people get access to justice in the local, regional, international justice systems. So this has not been easy. Threats, death threats, assassination threats. My staff have been coerced, surveillance to their staff quarters, there have been a lot of things, blackmail as being anti-development actors in the country, but all these were intended to silence us, to leave the our God insinuated efforts to do in our communities of defending the rights of the vulnerables. But we have remained committed to this cause, and we have remained strong to ensure that our communities, our fellow citizens, their rights are protected amidst this profit-oriented enterprise that does not respect the environment and human rights in Greater Masaka sub-region.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's really, yes, hard. I can understand these threats, and I read that yes, your home was broken into by unknown individuals, and equipment and data, including your work, was stolen. I know this is not easy, as you said, and I wish you good luck, and I wish you success in your personal and also professional life. And thank you very much again for giving me the chance to have this interview with you. I know that you have been very busy, but thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to the world about my work, and looking forward for other series of interviews to the same subject matter or other interventions done by Cotfone in Uganda. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.